Come thither and step into a world of glorious wonders. Welcome to the marvelous and majestic world of painting. Hello everyone, Matt Porter back again to another glorious episode of the Marvelous and Majestic World of Painting. On today's episode I was feeling sort of in a tropical mood, so I thought today we would do a tropical bird of sorts. I was thinking we would paint a lovely 16 by 20 painting of a keel-billed toucan. So we got to go ahead and sketch out our bird, so let's go ahead and get started with that. And just before we begin, I'd like to mention, make sure you have your number 2 pencil nice and sharp and your erasers ready. And we're going to start out by doing a very light sketch. Okay. Well, hello everyone. This is Matt Porter again in narration mode as you watch the fast motion version of me sketching out the toucan. So while I'm doing that, I think I will play you some music. So how's about some harmonica? We'll start off with some harmonica, shall we? What do you say we play a little bit of that guitar, ladies and gentlemen? Let's break out the old Fender acoustic. A one, two, three, four. think we will end on that note for the guitar, ladies and gentlemen. And for my next act, as we are still drawing, erasing, drawing, erasing, and drawing, I think I will grab my grand old trombone from the 1950s. This is an old trombone. And this is a little ditty I call Play It Around While Painting. My lips are tired, ladies and gentlemen. I played the harmonica, I played the guitar, and I played the trombone, and I'm just out of breath. Oh. So, here we are, still drawing. We're almost there, so I just need to keep you entertained for a few more minutes, so we don't die here in complete silence with boredom. But you're never bored when you're doing art or music. I think I may just strum a little more on the guitar. So here we go. A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. It's coming along good. Oh yes it is. But we're still drawing. And when we're done with that, we will start painting. Alright, you done sketching out your toucan? Well, you better hurry because we're moving on to our next step, ladies and gentlemen. So, for our next step, we're going to apply a thin coat of liquid white around our bird and we'll watch some magic happen. Some glorious magic. Alright, so let's just mix up our liquid white and get it to a nice consistency that allows us to apply it to the canvas. I think that ought to about do it. Alright, I'm just going to go into the liquid white on the 1-inch brush. Since we're doing some detailed work, we've got to get that liquid white around the bird. So I'm just going to stick with this. I could probably use a bigger brush up here, but that's alright. I already got this one out. Alright, so we've applied our liquid white, so let's go directly into some sap green without even washing our lovely 1-inch brush. Alright, so let's go ahead and start up here at this corner. I'm doing these X motions so that I might properly blend the color on our canvas, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm just going to fill up this whole canvas with our lovely, marvelous and majestic sap green. Ta-da! Our green color mixed with the liquid white. As you can see, it's not just one flat green color. We have different shades of green happening throughout the canvas. So I think the next color I'll do is just throw in a little bit of Indian yellow in some different spots here. I'm just kind of going crazy with this background color. this will be our main source of light shining through. You'll see how it's gonna work, sonny. I'm going to go into the Prussian blue now. And I'm not even going to wash the brush. I'm just going to go right into this. Once we get all these colors mixed, you'll see why we did what we did. Alright, so let's go into some of this Prussian blue here. I don't want to cover all the areas. Oh, and when I went around the edges here on the Toucan little bird, I used this brush here, a 1/2" angular brush. Alright. I'm not going to put too much of this Prussian in, just a good scoop of it on the brush throughout the canvas. This will give the effect that there is perhaps a jungle of trees. Just being careful not to get this paint to where we want to form our bird. Now let's get out the brush strokes here. Cross like so. Wet on wet is glorious, isn't it? Blend and move paint right on the canvas. It does marvelous wonders. I think this is coming out quite lovely, don't you folks? I'm just painting a little old background for my birdie. He's a toucan, and I don't think I can rhyme anything else because I can't think of anything. I really gotta write the songs before I do this show. These improv songs aren't cutting it, ladies and gentlemen. Guess that's why I paint. And not sing. But I have fun singing. It's a fun hobby. Alright. Now, let's go into the lovely, the marvelous, the majestic phthalo green. Dun dun dun! Okay, here we go. I really like this color. Always works really well with a white and a blue color. Gives you a nice teal color. Excellent for water. And we'll go back over this with a little bit of white. Get kind of a misty effect with that. This background color, I'm just kind of going at random with this. And that's okay, there's a lot happening behind Mr. Birdie here. We gotta give him a name. Gotta give him a name. What's your name, old boy? What are we gonna name you? See? I think we'll name you Frederick the Toucan. Perhaps Charles, or you could also perhaps go with. What shall we go with, ladies and gentlemen? Shall we go with Charles? Shall we go with Frederick the Toucan? Can't go with Sam, because that's trademarked. So, what in the blazes are we going to name our little toucan? Whew, got a lot there. A lot there. That's okay, that's okay. Yeah, I got a hair on. Somebody just knocked that there off. Still on there. Get off the brush, thank you. Yep, still on there. That's it. I'm just going to take it off my hand. Alright, let's just get off all these brush strokes here. We're a little crazy here, aren't I? We'll leave out the edges here where our lovely toucan is. If you get a little bit on them, that's okay. I just try to stay off of them. This helps me in the next step when I want to actually paint our buddy. I think I'm going to go Frederick, yeah. Sounds looks like a Frederick to me. Alright, and just a little more down here. Alright. And still, without washing the brush, I'm going to go into some titanium white, grab a little of that liquid white, thin it down. Just an equal amount. This will be where our light's going to come from. And just work outward. Doesn't have to be too bright. I think I'll go in this a little more Indian yellow. Back to the titanium white. And let's go ahead and get out our brush strokes now. Alright, so I'm just going to get out brush strokes real quick, and then I'm going to go back over it. It's a little more titanium white. That's a good light source. Now let's go ahead and throw in a little more areas where perhaps some light is beaming through. This will kind of help tone down these blues and greens too. It's not so harsh. And make it just right. See how that liquid white does glorious wonders for us? A lot of this green too is going to be covered up with branches in the back, all kinds of stuff, leaves. Like that, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting a lovely background of epic proportions. Just gotta get kind of crazy with it when you're doing this. It'll be alright. So I'm taking an oval mop brush and I'm just touching up little areas. This brush right here has very fine bristles on it. And it'll just give the paint a softer appearance. These fine bristles will just smooth the paint out so delicately. And after we're done doing this, we're going to start at our farthest point in our background with some trees. And they'll be quite lovely, I might add. So lovely that even the light from the very heavens will shine down, which will be this. Alright, so let's mix this up a nice brown color. We'll grab some sap green, alizarin crimson. And with this color, it'll give us a nice tree color far in the background. Let's mix that up real good. And to check the color, it almost looks, black, so check the color, see if we have the right formula. Put in some white. I want to add a little more green to that heavy red. A little more green. can keep changing it back and forth. More to the red side, more to the green side. Makes a great brown color. Let's add a little more white so you see what we got here. Oh yeah, that's pretty. That'll look good in the background. Alright, let me grab myself a old-fashioned half-inch angular brush and let's go into some of this brown here. Okay, so I want these trees to look really far away, so I'm not going to put a lot of paint on the brush. I want these trees to have just a faint color like that. Not too dark. So about that consistency of paint will be applied to the canvas, which will give it a little bit of a hazy look to make it appear that it's 5,123,000 miles away. Alright, here goes nothing. Just want to give it the effect. This is real far away. Because as we get closer, we get darker. Lighter, lighter, further, further, darker, darker, closer, closer. That's what I always say. And we don't want to just make these branches perfectly straight. We want to have them be all crooked like. Yeah, I think those somewhere up here. Stop at the beak. We'll come out to the other side. Up yonder. Grab some more paint. And again, I am keeping it very light on the brush. If you think you have too much, just tap on a blank piece of palette paper. Get some of that excess off. I think we'll go all the way to the top. Okay. And now we got the main branch, and I'll go off here and do other branches. Maybe we want to come perhaps this way. Ah, a slingshot out of that one. Appears to be a very marvelous and majestic way to go. Like so. Maybe that way with one, and that way with another. I'm kind of giving it a little bit of a tapping motion like that, which is helping keep it light. This one, then you come out here. Tap some of the excess paint off. Bring one out here. here. Nice. Yeah, we'll go this way. And when you do this tapping, it gives the branches a transparent look, which makes them look like they're actually far away. You can kind of see a misty effect in them. Looks beautiful. And that works in perfectly with the light. Looks like this branch is being hit with the sunlight. Beautiful. Absolutely marvelous and majestic, ladies and gentlemen. It is a fine day here at the painting studio. And for some finishing touches for this step, I believe I will perhaps go right here. Alright, so before we add our background leaves, I'm just going to do one more thing here. I'm just going to add maybe one more branch. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab a 1-inch brush and I want to kind of diffuse these branches a little bit more, just a tiny bit more, and get that lightness. Just soften them up. So give the appearance of mist and that they're far away. And a lot of this will be covered up anyway, but it's for background effect, which will make the painting even more marvelous and majestic. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today. It really does mean a lot. To me, painting gives me so much happiness, and it's something I will never give up. I really think I found my calling doing this, and I'm thankful to the Lord God for it. For this next step, I'm going to use my state-of-the-art #1 mop brush. Isn't it a beauty, folks? Straight off the production line. Let's go ahead and go into our brown color. Okay, so this is kind of going to be our shadow color. So this is far, far away, so this needs to be as light as possible. So let's go ahead and... Not really going to see this too much. It'll give us some shape and form in the back. And And don't just go randomly around the whole canvas. Take your time. Do one small set of leaves at a time. This kind of shines through that brightness. This is a really nice green color. Mixed a lot of colors to get this too. Sap green, Indian yeller, titanium white, Prussian blue, phthalo green. Anything else? No, I think that was it. Add just a few more. Alright, let's go into some raw umber. Just a touch of white. Yeah, that's nice. We're going to start working our branches forward. I like that color. Okay. Back to our half-inch angular, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put that right back down in our titanium white in our raw umber. Alright. So, let's see. I think I'm going to come out about right here. Oh, I'm painting a branch, I'm painting a branch. So give me some ranch on my salad. That wasn't a bad little jingle. Apply more paint. This dastardly little branch. Next one. Oh wow. So, come out here again. Choo choo. The choo-choo train. Oh yeah, we need to make that wider. What am I doing? Well, we can always fix it, my dear citizens. I don't know why I just called you citizens again. I think I did that in a previous episode. Fellow viewers, or friends, you've made it to the 3rd episode now. I think we can call you that. You're probably asking yourselves, what if I'm a first-time viewer and episode 3 happens to be the first one I'm watching? Well, I don't think we're friends yet. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe we are. Maybe we are. I'll just shut up then. Just watch the old matte paint and have a blasted good time. Let's just do a couple more here. I think we'll start right down yonder. couple more of these and we'll put some highlights on them. A little bit of a point on that one. Perfect. Alright. Let's have one more coming up here and we'll fill this area in some. Perfect. We have a good group of leaves coming right in this area here. I want to fill in a good amount of space and at the same time leave much of our lovely green color that we've produced in the background. We want that to show through definitely. Alright, so I think we'll perhaps bring one from up yonder. Make that one a little bit wider. Okay. And I think we're good on those branches, and we'll just go ahead and fill in some leaves. So before we do our leaf color, I'm going to do some highlights on the branches we just created. Take Van Dyke Brown and Titanium White. If we want to have a lighter brown, I think that's looking pretty good. I think a fine and dandy brush would be our number 2 flat brush. Let's go up here. Ah, let's come on up here. And just kind of do almost like a swirl motion. Give the branch some character. And we just want to do on the apply our paint on the top portion here. Just kind of grabbing it and pulling around, just like that. Running out of paint. Let me grab some more. Flip the brush around. Have paint on that side too. And let the paint run out of, let the brush run out of paint and just pull down some. Make sure the bottom portion stays dark. This will give our branch the effect that light is striking it. Isn't this a glorious, marvelous wonder? Alright, I believe that concludes our tree branches. So let's make some color for our leaves. Okay, so for our stem color, we're going to make sort of an orange color. So I'm going to take some alizarin crimson and some cad yellow. Just going to make a quick orange. So a touch of titanium white ought to do the trick. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful, marvelous color. I think we'll go with it. Alright, so I want this orange color to flow onto the canvas easily, so I'm going to dip my number 2 script liner brush in there, get off the excess, and we'll go into our paint. Okay, I just want to kind of come in here like so. I like to kind of spin the brush. It gets the paint into the bristles really well. Alright, that ought to do it. Alright now, so we got a lot of stems and a lot of leaves to do, so I'm going to show you how to paint a stem, and then I'm going to show you how to paint a leaf, and then we'll go to the next step after that, and we'll sit around and wait on you all day. Alright, so here we go. Let's come right about here. Go out this way. Quickly. Your line. And you can go back over and fill that in some more. And just give you an idea here. I'm going to grab a little more paint. Okay, this one's going to go backwards. I already got my orange color going on the script liner brush. I'm going to take this brush, the angular shader, has a fine point on it. I just want to show you where your stems are going to be. I'm just going to take a little burnt sienna and just have a place for the stem to rest in. Just like that. So all you got to do is take a little bit of burnt sienna. And it looks like our stem's connected. Let's go ahead and go into our stem color again, and we'll do another one. We'll go about right here. Come out to the other side. And the color gradually get lighter because we're coming to the end of the leaf. And a little bit longer. If you have a shaky hand when you're doing this detail work, I like to sometimes hold my hand like this. I think that'll be about a long enough leaf for us. Okay, let's go into our green color. Alright, so we shouldn't have to do much mixing on this one. I want to keep this color heavy to the sap green. So maybe just a touch of yellow. Maybe even less than that. Maybe a little bit of Indian or yeller. Not that much. I think we got our color we need right here. That's perfect. Alright, so I'm going to go into this green color with my angle shader. And we'll just start coming around right here. I'm just going to kind of outline it first, and then we'll fill in the color. more paint. Okay, that one. I kind of like that number 2 flat brush we're using, so we'll go into some of our green with that to fill in some of the color. There's a lot more paint. That's the idea. And then we'll brighten it back up after we block in our color here. Blocking in some color. Okay, so we blocked in our green color for our leaf, and let's go back over the stem color now. Alright, let's go back to the main part of the stem and kind of color that in a little more. And after this, we'll go into the little vein parts of the leaf that you normally see. That's looking pretty good. And I'm using this 1/8 inch angular shader, and that's going to help us get those fine lines in the leaf. So let's go into a little more of our orange color. And we don't want to make this too dark or too wide. So, something like so. Just like that. Probably need to get some paint thinner. Let me grab some of that. Okay. We don't have to make these completely uniform, lined up. Sometimes they're a little bit off. Alright, so go underneath the beak here now. Smaller down the leaf. Alright, so we're going to mix a little bit of a color that we're going to put around the border of our leaf. So I just want to kind of mix cad yellow and some sap green together. Get a real light green color that we can use, because when you look at a leaf in the sunlight, you'll see almost a yellow-green ring around it, and it makes the leaf shine. So this is what we're doing. Right, let's go up here, still using the 1/8 inch angular, and just going to go around the border. That brightens up the leaf. Beautiful. A little more of our paint. If you feel like you have a shaky hand, just hold the hand like I was showing you. And hold your breath. Ooh, breathe. Almost got it. There we go. All right, so grab some more cad yellow and make that kind of shine up here. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you now know how to paint branches, leaves, and stems. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of those, and we'll return soon. After these messages, there's no commercials. I'll be right back. And voila, ladies and gentlemen, a multitude of leaves. Would you like to see me paint the last one? Let's paint one last one together. When I start off my leaf here, I like to do the top portion almost like the shape of a heart. Okay. A little too much paint on the brush for that one, but we can just spread that out there. And let's just kind of come down and make our shape here. It'll come out a little bit wider here. Just kind of draw the edges. We can come through that one. Let's do this as a little bit darker color. That way we can tell which leaf's which here. Just want to get our basic shape for now, that's all. One problem you might run into a little bit when you're doing the leaf here is when you're just doing the sap green and a little bit of cadmium yellow, you're going to kind of see through if you're painting over the bark. You're gonna see through the leaf. So what I like to do is take some titanium white and throw it into the mix. That way it will completely cover up the brown showing through the green. So I'm just going through here, taking a little bit of that titanium white, and I'm kind of mixing it up with the sap green and cadmium yellow. Just about got it. And if you feel like you don't have the right amount of green or right amount of lightness in your leaf, just keep playing with the colors. Go back and forth with it. You can change it. Alright, so I kind of put just a little bit of a darker sap green color on this side of the leaf. And we'll keep this side lighter since that's closer to our light source up in the left-hand corner of the painting. So I'm just going to go into a little bit of the alizarin crimson and cadmium yellow. Let's mix those two together. I'm just going to get a little more paint mixed up here. And we're going to go ahead and just put a lovely, marvelous stem upon our leaf. With the 1/8 inch angular. Wasn't that marvelous, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. It's about 3 a.m. where I'm at now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm quite tired. I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm going to finish this right here. And possibly go to sleep. Or perhaps I'll just finish the whole painting this very moment. Alright, just get a little bit of the excess paint off the old brusharoo. Going to just a mere pinch of the cadmium yellow on our 1/8 inch angular. And now we shall caress the upper portion of our leaf and make it sparkle. Touch more, perhaps a little bit of our titanium white over yonder on our palette. Give it that extra sparkle. Oh yes, that appears to be working for us, ladies and gentlemen. How lovely. I think that will work. I think that is a pretty little leaf. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come in the space-time continuum to finally paint our toucan a multitude of colors, and shall even paint this lovely little branch. Let's go into some ivory black first, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, so I just dabbed a little bit of ivory black onto my 1/8 inch brush here. I'm just going to begin to gently shape the top of the feathers that project off the top of his head. You don't want all these the same length. You want to be able to see that green just through it. First we want to get the shape of this all figured out. And then we'll just blow through this and fill in the black color, and then after that we'll do a different shade of black. And you'll be able to see the feathers project off of the bird. And I might add that it'll be quite lovely indeed. It will be a painting that is one for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so I finished the area where he kind of has ruffled feathers on the top of his head. The rest of the bird, he doesn't really have that many ruffled feathers, maybe here and there, near where his tail is, but for the rest of the black part, we're just going to go ahead and block that in. So we'll do that. Alright, now that we've got some of the black feathers painted, I think I want to go into a little bit of lemon yellow. Color we have not yet used on this show, ladies and gentlemen. I think we'll go ahead and start filling this area because I feel like it. And that's the area I want to do next. So, here goes nothing. Oh, yeah. That looks like a lovely color. I like that color. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what brush you use. Just don't use something like, I don't know, something like this. That wouldn't work too well. You could use something a little bit bigger than this, but right now I'm okay with this one. And I'm just going to block in this area right here. And we shall return. Well, okay. We have the yellow blocked in. We have the black blocked in. And we'll just let that dry a little bit, and we're going to add some details within those colors. So I'm going to grab some food. I'm going to let it dry, and we'll be right back. Well, my, that was some delicious lobster thermidor I just had as a snack. Well, as I was eating my lobster thermidor, I was pondering upon the toucan, and I thought, perhaps next I shall go ahead and fill in the red part of him. There's a little bit of red along this area and along this area, so we'll go into some red now. How's about we go into some permanent red? I think this will make a lovely red. If we need to darken any parts, we can mix it with dark black a little bit. Let's come thither to the belly of our bird. We can overlap this yellow just a touch. Not much, just a touch. Just like that. I think I've decided I'm going to go just a touch more over. Get that red to show up a little bit more. Yeah, that'll look nice. That'll look nice. It shall indeed. What a magnificent creation of our Lord. That is probably about the perfect amount that we want to go over. I'm going to just fill in little areas here and there. This will give it more character. And as you can see on the top of this red here, it kind of looks fuzzy, which makes it have the appearance of feathers. And that's what we want. That is what we want today, ladies and gentlemen. Almost all we need. A couple more spots here and there. Oh, it's pretty lovely. Okay. Let's move to the red portion of our tail feather here. And we're working in a fairly small area, so I'm just going to use the same little brush I got going. Let me show you one thing here. You're doing the very edge of your feathers. Kind of just pull it down real fast like that. And don't do them all the same length. It won't look right. Kind of just doing different lengths of feathers here all throughout. I've filled in all the red color for his red feather. Yeah, I picked a little bit of black on the brush. Give these red feathers some shadow. We'll have more of the shadow on this side. Since that side of them is furthest away from the sun. I think that's going to look alright. Get some of that paint off my brush. I'm going to smooth this part up a little bit. And we'll get to this tree branch in just a little while. Alright, so I'll go ahead and clean my brush a little bit. I just got this new brush cleaning tank. Rub your brush against these coils. And it gets the paint off. Like that, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to get the least amount of ivory black on the brush. I'm talking just a very small amount. Like if you get some on the brush, wipe it off. And we just want to have the residue on our brush. So here we go. We're going to do some little highlights here on the birdie. Like I said, this is a base color here. And now we're adding our highlights so we can bring out the feathers on our bird. That way it doesn't look like just a yellow mask or something. So let's go ahead and start in this corner and we'll work our way this way. So here we go. Ever so slightly do we want to graze this. That's how generally you want to do it. I mean, you're like using one hair of the brush. See how that's already starting to bring out character in our bird? Once we get higher and higher, I'm going to fade out to nothing. And then we're going to go into some white highlights closer to the top. It's almost as if this bird is transitioning colors as you go this way. bit more paint on the old brush, but not a lot. Not a lot. Still slightly wet underneath, but that's okay. Now it's starting to look like feathers. This portion up top will be a lot more bright. Just clean off the old 1/8 inch brush. Alright, time to go into some titanium white. And again, let's not get too much paint on the brush. We don't want to cancel out all of our lovely yellow we have here. I don't know about you folks, but I'm sure looking forward to doing the beak. I don't want to come in here and do everything too random, but indicate some feathers along our bird here. Just like that. I hope you are enjoying sitting in your living room or wherever you are, watching paint dry, or rather, watching paint being thrown on a canvas. Okay. A little bit of reflected light here. Grab some more paint. Once again, just graze the canvas like so. more over here. Fade it to nothing. Bringing the feathers to life. Just like so. We want it to get less white towards the eye up here. Not as much. Not as much. We're going to put a little shadow under there too. We'll do that later. Just a couple more here. A couple that come this way. There we go. I like it. Alright, let's mix up some paint in this slop here, shall we? Let's go into some of this sap green. Let me explain what we're doing. That would be helpful. Yeah, cab yellow. Cad yellow, not cab. Oh, I like that right there. So what I'm going to do is mix up a very light green color, and this is going to be the color that we use around the bird's eye. So we're going to work around the eye, and then work right into the old eye socket. So what we're about to do here is going to give our toucan a bit of dimension around his eye. Start at the top. Color up top is going to be much lighter than the bottom. I'm not going to give him bags under his eyes or anything, but it'll be much darker in color as we go around the eye to the bottom part. It's probably a little too dark. We'll fix it. Alright, I gotta fix this. I gotta fix his eye. He's mad at me. Look at him. He's angry. He's like, you messed up my eye, Matt. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make you happier. Be patient. We'll fix this. I promise. I promise. Okay. The angriness is going away. Whew. He's got an awful mean bite with his beak. I don't want him to bite my whole head off in one bite. Alright. He's getting a little happier. There. Like, alright, man, I trust you. Trust you to make me happy. Now let's go with a bit of the darker green color for the bottom. Perhaps a little more. This is the style of color we want. It's real light green color. After I get the ring around the eye, we'll start working outward. He's going to have a little more green around the surrounding areas of the eye. Alright, I know he looks crazy right now. We're going to fix him. Kind of work out here. Have green come out here. Ever so slightly. Boy, he looks crazy right now. He's like, "Man, I'm going to get you. I'm going to end the marvelous and majestic world of painting." Ah. But we shall not allow that to happen. The show shall live on for 50 centuries. Or longer. Or this could be the final episode, as we know it. We just do not know. Perhaps when I'm long gone, there'll be a hologram projection of me here, still painting. That was me winking at you. Alright. Let's go into some of that there. Lemon yellow. Lemon yeller. Lemon yeller. Alright. And around these here edges. Like so. I'm just going to use the tip top of my brush. I promise beyond a shadow of a doubt, our bird shall not look like this on its final product. So, what I'm going to do is just blend this color out. Put that ring around his eye. I want to just grab the edges of it and just pull it out. You have my word that this will look both marvelous and majestic. Just like we wanted it, we got the darker on the bottom. And we're blending this green. Wash the conflabbed old brush now. Alright, I'm about tired of this bird looking at me like he belongs in the nut house, so I'm going to finish his eyeball. Just grab a touch of black on the end of our 1/8" brush here. And I reckon when I get around to it, I'll go over that green a little more. Have it stand out just a touch more. So let's go ahead and go into this. Oh, I already feel like this bird's not as crazy anymore. And this bird has a very interesting iris. It has a lovely sort of greenish iris to it. It's really quite lovely. We're going to do that next. Alright, now for the eye. I'm going to take an equal amount of Prussian blue and an equal amount of phthalo green and mix them together. There's our Prussian, there's our phthalo green, and so we can tell what kind of color we got going here. I'm going to take a little bit of white, not that much, a little bit of white, maybe that much, and mix it together. Oh, that's perfect. That is beautiful. And that's all we need. We don't need a lot of paint for this. Here we go again with our 1/8" brush. This would be a great color. That's working out good already. Happy with it. And we're just going to block in this blank space here. Oh, y'all having a grand time today? I'm glad. It warms my heart. So I'm going to use my brand new brush that I got, number 0 Tight Spot Detailer. And I'm going to add just a touch of our ivory black to the edge here where the eyelid and eyeball meet. And I want to give the appearance of an eye socket for our birdie. Add a touch more paint. Quite have enough on the brush. When you don't do that, don't even breathe. It takes precision. I'm going to try and get a lot of the paint off the brush now. Just going to wipe it onto my palette on an empty space. And I want to just kind of color in this area right here. I probably left a little too much on the brush. Clean, dry brush and just work that in. The appearance of shadow. Giving the eye of the bird some life. And like I said, we're going to shade in a little more of that green around the eye. Don't quite have enough. I have a little bit more. That's about the mountain I have. That's a little more on this side. I think that'll work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we shall truly breathe life into our toucan. Let me show you this next step. Alright, so I've taken a mixture of titanium white and the liquid white, mixed it on this brush. It's got a small amount. Now, we need to have the light reflecting off his eye. This will show the life in our toucan. So I'm going to come about right here to the corner of his eye and gently just tap. Start tapping the light on. Isn't that neat? He looks like he's alive now. Just like that. Such a simple step. Alright, now we got that. I think we'll knock out the tail. And we'll go right into the ivory black. We'll do everything that's just completely black, and then we're going to do a blue-black color here in the tail and different parts, and we're going to put that as highlights throughout our bird here, give it more life. Alright, so I got my number 3 angle shader going here, so let's get started. We're going to block in this color, or this section here. Let's see, all of this. And some of this part here. And we're going to do some jagged edges on the bottom of the tail here. I just did a kind of rounded drawing when I sketched it as a guide, but we want that tail to look a little jagged on the edges. Get that realistic look. Like so, dear viewers. Blue almost looks like a black. Don't need a tremendous amount of paint, that'll work. One thing I'm going to do first before we go into our blue color, I'm going to just go into black only and just highlight some of these feather lines here. And once I apply the blue-black color, I'll see these and probably go over them again to make them stand out. This is more of a guide for what we want to do. We'll probably go back over those. Okay, so the number 3 angle shader. That's an okay brush to use. So that color's going to work. Really dark blue. Probably make it just a touch darker if we want. We'll add another dab of black to that. Nice. And I'm just going to block in this color on all of the white that's left here. Alrighty, now that our tail is complete on our toucan, what part of the bird would you like to work on next? What's that? Oh, you want to work on the beak? Oh, we're going to do the feet instead. I know you're itching to do that part. I know you are. But we're going to do that first. Alright, so I've simply taken burnt sienna and Van Dyke brown, mixed it together with the same amount of each. And I'm just going to take that color and I'm going to fill in where his joints are. He sort of has a little brownish look to it. Just very lightly. This gives me an opportunity to use my brand new brush. It's okay if a little bit of that pencil shows through. Helps apply some dark color. Have some more paint on the brush. And keep raising it lightly. bird has an interesting color to his feet as well. It's a lovely and marvelous blue color. So we're about to start mixing that momentarily when I finish this. Alrighty, so for his foot's color, we're just going to try and get a light blue here. So probably add a little bit of phthalo green to want sort of a teal look. I almost got where I want it. I think that's about perfect. I'm going to go with that color. That is beautiful. Beautiful blue. Alright, so I've cleaned off my tight spot detailer, new Fandangle brush, and the old odorless paint thinner. So let's go ahead and go into some of that blue color, shall we? I think I'll start about right here. And if there's portions of this where we need to add in some white to give it a little bit of a lighter appearance, we can do that. So let's just go ahead and block in this blue on all the foots here, and we'll just play with lights and darks after we do that. Alright, so I've filled in all the blue on the foots, colored the nails black, and I have now mixed a very, very light blue color that we're going to add on for highlights. So now we just want to get our appearance of the light shining on the little footsy wootsies. So I'm going to come to the very edge and just raise it like so. Just like that. Right there. And once we have our tree trunk painted, we'll put some shadows from the foots onto that. So that about covers the foots. Let's move on to our infamous beak, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so we're going to start at the very front portion of the beak. I'm going to go into some alizarin crimson. I'm going to grab the least little amount of black. If we want heavy red, but we want a little bit darker red. I think that will work. Okay, The moment of truth. Oh, it's perfect. Perhaps a little bit more black, but we can change it. Let's just get some color filled in right now. I'm going to cover all of this area here up to this point, and I'm going to cover about right up to there on the bottom. So I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, so let me tell you what I did. I applied the lipstick now to our toucan. No, I'm just kidding. And it kind of looks like lipstick now. Now it would only have that part. But let me show you what I've done. Alright, so the bottom portion of the upper beak, I applied some permanent red, which is brighter than this alizarin crimson mixed with black, of course. So we can tell where the separator is, where the mouth is. And that's actually how it's supposed to look. And since we got that red all done, we're going to come into this section here and a little bit right here and make a beautiful, lovely mandarin orange color. Alright, so I really can't say for sure whether or not this is going to be a mandarin orange color or not, but I was just saying something stupid. So, both sides are stuck to my knife. Oh. Let's just make a nice orange color. As you remember, we had a nice orange color for our stems, for our leaves. More yeller. Grab some white. I got a little bit more yellow over here on my palette. I think we need a lot more yellow. That red is really strong. This looks like ketchup and mustard mixed together. I think we're getting closer. Got some more yellow over here. Yeah, that's a nice color. I think we've achieved what we need. Alright, let's go right up yonder, shall we? Alright, so we're just going to blend this right into the other color. Won't be able to tell where one color begins and the other ends. Yep, that orange is beautiful. And this is all going to be orange right here. Yeah, we mixed that perfectly. Thank you for helping me. Couldn't have done it without you. Alright. So, I'm filling that whole section there, right there, right there, up to that point right there. So we'll block that in now. Alrighty, so we got the orange completed on our bird. So what I've done is kept the rest of the orange that I had left on my brush, and I've dipped it into some of the lemon yellow color. And we're going to make a yellow-orange color along the ridge of the beak here. Let me show you. So basically, right around him, raise the edge. I'm just going to graze the jagged edge. Appears to be showing up. Okay. really need a new chair. This one squeaks. And it would accommodate you, the viewer, from any ghastly noises. I think that shall do. Okay, on to the next color. Alright, we're going to do a little bit of blue here. So we're going to go into that same color we use for our feet of our bird. And we'll add just a touch of white to it. Lighten it up just a touch. Won't be completely the same as the bird's feet, but close. Alright, so let's go right up here. Alright. Right here. See, I've mapped out where our colors go. Just gotta study the bird real well. There'll be a bit right here. This little crevice. And a touch right here in this section. Lock that in real quick. Okay, so our majestic blue is now applied to our lovely toucan. And you're probably maybe scratching your head or possibly your armpits, wondering why I use this brush for this task. Well, sometimes you just run into certain situations where you feel as though the brush is the perfect fit for that location. So, let's go ahead and go into our green for our bird. And we're almost done with the beak. Alright, what do we got here? What a conflab mess. Alright, so here's some sap green. Here's some cad yellow. We're going to do the bottom portion of the beak. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry about that. I apologize. We're going to do the bottom portion of the beak. And we'll have a little bit more green on the bottom portion. The top portion will have a lighter green. So we'll mix a little more cad yellow into the top portion. So I'm going to go ahead and start going into our green color here. That is perfect. That easy. This is almost like paint by numbers now. I'm just going to fill in this section. Alright, so now I'm going to paint this little black stripe that's next to the toucan's face here. And this past weekend I actually went and saw a live toucan in person. Let's go to the clip. I'll show you what I filmed. Mr. Toucan, you're a cool bird. I'm painting you, except the one I'm painting is a keel builder. You are a Swainson's toucan. How interesting. You're quite lovely. Wasn't that little critter cool? Well, this here is the keel-billed toucan, obviously. It's also known as the sulfur-breasted toucan and the rainbow toucan, something rainbow toucan. And tell you what, if you want to buy a toucan as a pet, it's going to be about $10,000. That is a lot of money. A lot of money. And And their beaks here are made completely out of keratin. Another cool fact about the toucan is that they like to stay up in the trees quite often. They stay up in the trees and hop to one branch to another. That's what they mainly do. They don't do a whole lot of flying. I'll tell you what, if I was a bird, I would soar upon the skies as if I had wings as eagles. I'll just shut up now and we'll get this little part done. Alright, that part's done now. So, we're going to do sort of this same color here. We're going to have it a lot lighter in green. It's going to have more yellow to it. So let's mix that right now. Alright, so we're going heavy yellow. I've got my green on the brush and take all of this cad yellow here. Well, I think that'll work. That's the color I wanted to go for. Instantly went into it. Perfection, ladies and gentlemen. The final piece of the puzzle. Alright, that's going to work, I think. Yeah, so I'm just going to fill in that white part there and play with the light in just a moment after I get that filled in. Ta-da! Now he really looks like a toucan. Alright, so what I've done is I've kept this same color on my brush, this green and yellow color we made, but I added white to the brush. So I can give that appearance as though the sun is shining down through the trees, going in between branches and coming gently down upon our toucan's beak. And I'm just going to go all the way around the edge here. And go all along this top layer first. Like so. After I do that, I'm going to pull down and just blend these colors together. Like that. I'll do the same here on this beak, but without the green color in the brush. Alright, let's move on to something else. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have made the executive decision that I shall apply the bluish black color on the bird's feathers. We'll use this same color here as we did for our tail. So let's go ahead and grab some more of that paint. Alright, so this is basically on the top of his wing is sort of like his shoulder. I'm going to come about right down yonder. About right there. And we'll just start putting in this color. So this is going to be basically like his shoulder. Alright, so, oh yeah, that's a good color. Good color we got going there. Right there. So go on the top here. And just kind of do a motion as if you're going down like that. That's it. You're doing good. Keep up the great work. I'm very proud of all of you. Just like so. If you got your blue and black mixed too dark, just lighten it up with a little bit of white. Don't overdo this part. You got a feather there. Like that. Couple little feather showing. I think I'll put a couple little highlights in his hair. Not too much up on his head. Just a few. Just to give him a little more character. Make him stand out from the rest of the birds. You want to do it? Alright, I think I'll just put a few here in front of him, not much. Alright, so I want to put some shadow underneath his beak here. I basically put a touch, just a pinch of ivory black on the top of the brush, and I wiped it off. And I left a little bit of the black residue on the brush, so I can lightly, basically dirty this up here. Lightly breathe. So mere shadow. Yeah, shadow from our beak. I think that'll work pretty good. Alright, I'm just having a grand old time. Lightly getting a little bit more green around the eye here. I've taken a number 0 round brush, lightly dipped it in the same green that we've used for our beak, and I'm just kind of going around the eye here. Adding a touch more green to it. I know. Apply a little more down here. Not enough on the brush. I'm putting too little on the brush now. That's a first. There we go. You can see a little more green there. And maybe right here we can have a little bit heavier green. Oh, that's nice. Gives him some more character. Don't overdo this part though. leave that alone. That's perfect. All right. I think I'll just do one more up here. Perfect. I'm not going to touch it. There we go. Now perfect. Not going to touch it. I'm not going to do anything else to it. It is lovely, marvelous. You see my eye? Oh, that's my hair. Oh, here's my eye. There we go. It's lovely, marvelous, and quite majestic. So now what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to block this white in with some raw umber and just a pinch of white. I'm just going to grab my fancy new number 8 flat brush, ladies and gentlemen. State of the art. Okay, now let's go ahead and go into some of that raw umber. Just a pinch of white. A pinch of white. Okay. I don't want it completely raw umberish. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that is perfecto, as we say around here. Oh, we're painting our last tree branch today. It's the very last one, and we are almost done. So grab your brushes and finish this painting with me. I made that up on the spot, wasn't that good? You're like, he's a terrible singer. Well, let's go ahead and block in this tree branch with this color, and then we'll move on to the next adventurous step. Oh, hello. Here's a lovely progress report. So, I'm going to show you a little bit what I got done. And I want to also show you, so your stick or log, whatever it is, tree branch, we'll call it a tree branch, whatever this is, you don't want to have it perfectly straight. You want it to have lumps in it and twists and turns, bumps. So when you come, of course we drew a little bit of a straight line when we sketched it out, but as you're filling in this color, kind of, don't keep it straight. Use your drawing line as a guide. Just sort of, go up and down with it and make little bumps and stuff. So it's not perfectly straight. Just a little trick for you. Alright, next what we're going to do is pretty interesting. So we're going to grab some Van Dyke Brown, add some white to it. This will be the top of our branch. We get a lighter colored brown now. And we're going to put several layers of this paint on our tree branch. And we're going to texture it, make it seem like bark. Okay. I think that's pretty good right there. Not going to overmix it. Alright, so I'm going to turn this sideways so it's a little easier to work on this branch. Alright, so we're going to grab a little paint on the end of the knife here. Let's start up here. We're going to come to the top here and just pull down. Over the top. Pull down. And we want to run out of paint about halfway down the log here, or close to it, maybe a little bit more. That way it's darker on the bottom. Because you have the light hitting the top of the lovely branch. And what I'll do is, after we go through all this, I'll highlight the top with a little bit more white, or lighter brown rather. And I'm just going to go like so, all the way down. And when you're doing this too, sort of give this a little bit of a rounded pull, as if you were going around a tree branch. Alright, now that I got all that paint all put around there, I'm just going to lightly go around through the lighter brown meets the darker brown and just sort of blend this down. Just sort of like that. Just so our brown doesn't come to a complete stop, if you know what I mean. There we go. Well, I think that branch displays some winsome tranquility, so I think I'm going to keep it as is. Alright, so let's do another part of the beak. Sorry folks, I was telling a little bit of a fib. We're actually going to do some shadows right here. So what I've done is I've taken that same brown color, I've added a little bit of black to it, a little more dark, there we go. And I'm just going to make a darker brown to indicate shadows. Going to do that on this side of the foots, on each side. The last part of our toucan beak. He has like these little black stripy things on his beak. So I have put the least little amount of black on the brush. I put just a tiny bit on there and I wiped the excess off on the palette. That's how little I have on there. So the stripes look somewhat like this. Just using the corner of the brush. Making like little triangles or arrows, whichever. And they're real subtle too. They're not on there really dark. There we go. And he has them above this little line here. Not right above it, but right above there, if you can see that. This area that's a little discolored, leave that alone. The ones that are over here are more distinct. These could be put on extra light. And start getting a little bit bigger. For the sake of time, I'm going to do all these and I'll show you. Well, folks, that's it. We're done. Now we just need to sign it. And then we'll be done. Now I'm just going to grab the old 2-inch script liner brush. I'm going to go into some of that liquid white I still had on my palette. Run it through some of this clean titanium white I still have here. A little bit more. Nice and thin. And then just roll it, bring it to a point. Alright, let's go up here. Here we go. I'm going to just sign it right here in the left hand corner. And I'd like to offer you some words of wisdom for today, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, there's mighty power in your brush. You just have to figure out how to use it. Hope you will take those words, apply them to your life. Yeah. Touch this up a little bit. I like to use a little more liquid white. That's okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come to name our painting. I believe I will name this painting Toucan in the Jungle of Winsome Tranquility. That's the name. Toucan in the Jungle of Winsome Tranquility. Short and sweet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it truly warms my heart that you were able to join us today on the Marvelous and Majestic World of Painting. I would just like to wish you all a wonderful day. God bless. I'll see you next time here on the Marvelous and Majestic World of Painting. Goodbye.